everyone, welcome to the Matrix Oracle. My name is Audrey. This is your Mercury in Aries transit from March 10th to April 1st before it goes retrograde. I do like to have specific readings for when Mercury is in retrograde, so let's see first this period of time when Mercury is going to be in Aries. So that means if you want the collective energy message for this period of time in terms of the master teachings of knowledge. So Mercury helps us to know thyself through the dance between the sun and the moon and realizing the knowledge that needs to be grasped. Okay, so here, this is for the collective message as well as the people that have their natal Mercury in a fire placement. All right, let's get started. Welcome. When I dream, I invite limitless magic into my life, and I welcome my spirit guides to show up in wondrous and unexpected ways. Kali Mahamaya. When a situation becomes unnecessarily complicated or confusing to your heart, Kali Mahamaya arises spontaneously as a protective bearer of universal truth. Ultimately, her revelations shall lead you beyond that which is deceptive or not right for you. This you are promised. She protects you from that which is unworthy of your heart and seeks to constrain your spirit. Interesting. Okay. So we're seeing here, there's already an indication to welcome energies, to welcome higher knowledge, to flow in different shape and form. All right, let's see what else. Honeymoon. Enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. This is my card. I like the romance angel when I work with self-love energy. And this is my card for the 5D connection. So connecting to the higher self, that honeymoon, that type of retreat energy. And especially here, this kind of voyage. You see, this is a couple that's getting married, that's being guided by an angel. So there's like this higher perception of your feminine and masculine energy here that are being called upon. And then we have, engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. This is so interesting. With a lot of the messages that I've been receiving. Maybe some of you as well. And then separation. Time apart from your partner is on the horizon. So this is really interesting because I did not know what order to follow for those readings because there's so many shifts with the planet occurring at the same time. When I looked at the new moon in Pisces, I saw that Mercury was already in Aries. So I thought I need to look and channel this energy first. And I felt this already with the new moon, which is an energy that we're seeing with the position of where the sun and moon are going to be for this new moon in Pisces, which is going to be to challenge ourselves to evolve and stop fighting with the higher self, to kind of commit to learn in different ways, and maybe to have to release some of the things that we thought we wanted so much with the mind and that are going to be manifested more from the heart field. That doesn't mean that your desires are not worthy, but maybe the way to create what you're truly asking, but through the lens of the limited mind that can only conceive as much. You're being guided to create more from the heart field. A lot of reconnection to the heart. And I'm not surprised the dragons wanted to come forward for this reading because the energy of the dragon through this new moon activation that is also very much intertwined with this Mercury shifting in Aries is going to be in the 9th house. So there's a lot of higher teachings and a lot of that energy with the communication of the higher self. The dragon energy is going to support you. And what I mean by dragon energy, this is your breath. This is your alignment, the alignment in your spine. Ascension is going through the vertebrae. This is how you get your enlightenment. This is how you get the key, and the key as in sound, the key as in codes, the activation. Okay, so let's see what the dragons have to share here. We have the sovereign. Ooh, I like this energy. Look at this. You need to be sovereign. And that means, I love how I just put it under this, almost like this triunity. It's not just what you know about your feminine and masculine or your mind and your heart. Is what you don't see that is divine. Is realizing that you are a divine being. And there's probably with the number 15, a lot of purging of the childhood trauma to return in a space of innocence. So maybe some of the things that you're looking to achieve or learn or master, they might still be stemming from past wound to want to prove yourself something that you couldn't prove maybe to your parents, to friends when you were young, or things like this. Okay, but it's almost like a call back to your state of purity, of innocence, when creation was not altered by some of the programs that you absorb and got, to adopt. Ooh, I love this. This is so beautiful. The Daydreamer, number 18. It's going to call you back to spend more time to dream your life into manifestation. Number 18 is speaking of, divine justice. It helps us find the balance between feminine and masculine. And this way, it's almost like we're opening up the gateway to a higher power through a higher access to knowledge. But I feel that there could be here some type of struggle or ego death or process of ego death that is coming with this energy. Because remember, even though I'm channeling Mercury in Aries just before it's retrograde, there's a pre-shadow energy. So it's showing us here that there is a call to merge into a version of ourselves, like integrate a version of ourselves that is more sovereign, that is more divine. And there's probably some aspect of ourselves that we're going to naturally want to let fade away. All right, I would say Callie wanted to be part of it, this energy. Definitely, I can feel that it could be part of her teachings here through this phase that could support you when you're meditating. Let's see in terms of frequencies, you guys. That was clear. I like to support you. So obviously, we have the Mercury frequency. If you are a YouTube member, you can work with the Mercury frequency. And if you want to invite Callie's energy, she has a Bija mantra, a seed mantra, which is Krim, K-R-E-E-M. So you can chant Krim while listening to Mercury to get some of those higher awareness. But here, oh wow. See, I'm not surprised. We have awareness of energy imbalances. This is part of your True Abundant Nature album. Okay, this is about breath work. I work with binaural beats to put you in a certain state that makes you very keenly aware of your energy imbalances. So you could be listening to this, so you're in that frequency, and then go to Mercury and then maybe call either Mercury's energy with that mantra, or even Callie if you need to move through certain energies, or even invite Callie here. But there's some breath work that I'm suggesting in this one, and this is the microcosmic orbit breathing. You have a video tutorial, so I'm not going to spend more time with this. But I'm seeing here, so if you have, and for everyone, Mercury in Aries before its shadow, it's retrograde, so this shadow time, Aries is very much about having awareness of how our desire have a certain field, a certain reach. So a lot of boundary work with the archetype of Aries. This is very much about grid work, a lot of, gatekeeping as far as like what we allow to move with us, okay, in that new realm of reality. So it's showing that if you have a Mercury in a fire placement, you would benefit to know what could be still in your field, in your body, maybe it will reveal to you the way you think, because Mercury is very much about the thoughts. Whatever thoughts are keeping you from accessing this dream of yours, because you have here, this energy that's like, it's available to you. We just need to open those doors, okay? So that's what I have for you, my dear subscribers, because this is part of the subscription, and sometimes I do share it on Instagram as a preview. So you can access this through the YouTube membership or the Instagram membership if you want to watch your personal Mercury placement. Thank you so much for being part of my journey. I'm sending you much love and light. And for some of you, if you want, I do offer Kali reading and dragon reading, if that's something that can support you at this time. Namaste. If you have your natal Mercury in an Earth placement, those are the messages for the transit when Mercury is in Aries before it goes in retrograde in Aries. So all the way from March 10th to April 1st, 2024. Let's see what we have. And first, if you want to also have a grasp on the collective message, you can watch the fire element. All right. Acceptance. I overcome my biggest challenges by accepting what is. Interesting. There is not always a need to try to grapple and conquer. Sometimes the need is simply to let go. Just because another has created a certain reality for themselves and is attempting to draw you in, it does not mean that you must participate. You have the divinely granted gift of choosing where to invest your energy. Be kind to yourself. Very interesting, because it's involving others here, okay? And maybe being under a certain influence of how people go about their life. And I would say, I'm feeling it, so I'm going to mention it, maybe how they go about manifesting their success, which if you listen to the collective message, there's a lot of invitation to connect more with the higher version of yourself and allow the natural unfolding of the process for creation. We're really trying to manifest a reality that we haven't seen as a collective. So our solutions need to be different. And they're probably very much outside the box. Okay, and you're part of that uniqueness with this message. You had a lot more of cards that came through for you, my Mercury Earth. So we have healing family issues. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. Interesting. There was an energy in the collective message that spoke of separation. So some of you with a Mercury in Earth, you could have some residue of seeing the dynamic of your parents, especially if there were any type of divorce. Okay, I want to mention it. That's not for everyone. But maybe there was a resistance of what was going on, and it affected you. Let's see. Passion. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. Wedding. Interesting. And children. Wow. Definitely. Wow, 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 wow. It's very clear here. Going back to the divorce here, I feel that there was maybe here for some of you, okay, to know thyself, because Mercury is the master teacher of knowledge. And what happens is that there's a dance between the sun and the moon, the part that knows and the part that doesn't know. And Mercury moves quite fast, okay, with the sun and the moon, and helps to reveal what needs to be revealed, okay? And what I'm seeing here is that there might have been here some influence from following, here I'm feeling like maybe, some people have their parents that fell in love. There was like a passion. Maybe they just, the mother got pregnant, so they got married, but they didn't know really what was marriage all about, what it entailed, or there was, ulterior motives behind the passion. Maybe it was more of a focus. I want to feel secure by becoming a husband or a wife, some type of security pattern. It seems that if you have a Mercury in an Earth placement natally, there might have been some underlying motives that are playing out in the way people united, okay? And maybe how you felt about this as a child. Now, some of you, if you have what you feel is like picture perfect parents, I would say that you have to pay attention to what's your response to it. Are you putting yourself more pressure to be like them, or rejecting it because you want more passion, because you didn't see that? Okay, so it can really play out differently, and it's a collective message, so I'm not going to continue deep diving, but you're understanding. It's like there is here something to know about your childhood upbringing in the family, and especially in terms of how the physical couple got together. This is interesting. It is part also of this new moon energy as far as, evolving. And that means displacement for that new moon that happens pretty much the same time that this shift in Mercury and Aries happens is very much about understanding how to manifest a greater passion, so life force within the self, with between feminine and masculine, and especially the divine. Okay, because there's a lot acceptance shows you that's like there's certain things that you're under the influence because you wanted to learn certain principles, and that means you're going to experience certain things in the light or in the dark towards mastering those teachings. Let's see the dragon energy. Dragons came up here, and I'm not surprised because they're helping a lot with anything that has to do with the nervous system, spine, and through the spine, there are the 33 vertebrae, so there is the ascension. Dragons are the ascended master of the reptilian brain, okay, the part of us that's reptilian. Let's see here, the crystal guardian with number 14. This is interesting. Some of you, maybe if you like to work with crystals, I'm feeling any type of blue shade crystal could be helpful with bringing peace, or even bringing, self-mastery as far as whatever you need to realize and know about what could be influencing you. The confident. Interesting too. All right. Number 27. And the spiral, 26. Wow. So did you see how I mentioned to you, like, you had to be under certain influence, and especially look at this color of the tree, the black and white, in order to have a certain access to even say with the crystal guardian. I'm almost hearing like having access to how to ascend to a crystalline body, how to ascend to a version that is more 5D, that has a higher consciousness. You had to maybe, so some of you, I'm feeling something interesting that you could have experienced being the confident in situations where people were unfaithful, or there was a lot of drama. You could have been mediating a lot of drama. And you had to also learn where you stood in those dynamics. You know, it's like, what do you believe in and what do you stand for? Remember here, Kali's energy was showing a lot of influence from other people's desires and what had been manifested for them. So there's here an invitation for you to almost like step out of whatever could have been that influence. All right, let's see. In terms of music frequency. So you're going to be able, if you have access to the YouTube music membership, work with the Mercury frequency. I would say some of you, if you don't know how to work with Kali, I like to use her Bija mantra, which is a seed mantra. It's Krim, Krem. You can use her mudra as well, if that's something you like. But you could invite her. Okay, so at the bottom of the pile, it seems that it's the same as the collective message. So maybe that's going to be for everyone. This is an album, The True Abundant Nature. It is the awareness of your energy imbalances. So you're going to use the breath work, microcosmic orbit. So breathing through the back and exhaling through the front. I'm not going to go into the description. In this video, you also have an access to a tutorial, so you can learn about breath work. There are 4 chapters, different breath work with different type of binaural beats. So you would need your headphones. It helps you. It's very powerful to have, binaural beats, because they're really trying to recalibrate your right brain hemisphere and your left brain hemisphere. So I'm going to feel that this is going to be the collective energy work, but we'll see if that falls part of the other signs. So that's what I would suggest, is working with the breath work. You could also invite Kali if you wanted to have some higher awareness, and then shift to Mercury. And then you might have, some of you, especially if you have Mercury retrograde, or maybe you were born in the shadow of a Mercury retrograde. I discovered that I literally was born 5 or 6 days before a retrograde occurred. And I was like, oh, that's why I've been feeling this. And it played out very much in the karma and the path that I had to experience. So some of you, that might be something you want to know. Mercury retrogrades does make you experience lies and betrayals. It does come with this, and that doesn't mean if you don't have a Mercury retrograde, you won't experience it. But for people with a natal Mercury retrograde, it will be part of something that was an unfinished business, an unfinished spiral. So be confident through this phase. You can use the breath work, I was going to say almost the lions, the dragons, maybe also because the second album is about intervening on your auric field and doing psychic surgery. And it is the lion's breath. Okay, so some of you, I would say, the whole album, this starts the work, but the whole album is really precious with this Mercury shifting in Aries. Aries is the gatekeeper. It wants to make sure that in your field of creation, you're not bringing forward in this new zodiac year also that's coming, energies that don't belong to you or what you stand for as far as your true nature. All right, that's what I have for you, my dear Mercury in Earth placement. I'm sending you many blessings. And if you need support, I do offer Kali readings and dragon readings. Namaste. Born with a Mercury in an air placement, those messages are for you. This is for the Mercury in Aries transit. It is going to go retrograde. So I'm reading before it goes retrograde. It's March 10th to April 1st. So that's going to be a little bit of a shadow energy. And it's important because Aries is the gatekeeper, is the grid worker in terms of your manifestation. So if you want to also listen to the collective message, go and check out the fire placement. Okay, let's see what you have, my dear Mercury Air. Transformation. With the help of my dreams, I am ready to make changes towards a new me. Wow, so a lot of the subconscious here seems to be part of supporting you. So make sure, if you are not doing this yet, to start dream journaling. Okay, there's a lot of things. I love when I do this, and I'll share this with you. When I put myself, in front, my little altar, and before going to bed, I just feel the guidance of whatever frequency work I have to do, okay? And I set an intention to be revealed a certain thing. Then I go to bed. I always dream, especially I use the subconscious mind every night with a bunch of other things that I have available on my YouTube. And I always see that how the dreams are hinting me things that I requested. So I come back in the morning, I journal, and then if I have questions about this dream, I go and work more with my meditation. It doesn't have to be long, you guys, okay? It can be 10 minutes, 15 minutes. That's a minimum you should have to allow yourself that space, okay? Especially knowing that there's so much you're doing while you're sleeping, okay? All right, I felt for you with a Mercury air placement, there's probably a lot that can be processed, and that could be just even easier and even more, quote unquote, fun. All right, let's see what Kali says here. Kali overcomes karma, realigns us with our path when we have veered off course, reverses the momentum of negativity and detaches draining energy cords, restoring us to full vitality. It may seem like your will is being thwarted, or you are not getting what you want, but the goddess knows what she's doing. Her actions will benefit you. Trust. Okay, so there might be, again, that was part of the collective message. We're trying to create more from the heart field. But the heart field may still hold on to emotional patterns as a protective mechanism that are created from the mind, also still playing out in the physical body. Okay, so here there's an invitation to pay attention to what your subconscious is revealing to you, especially as we are in this transit, and it's going to be a shadow transit before the retrograde. And again, I told you, I love the archetype of Aries because it teaches us the boundaries of creation. We're all creators here, but we need to make sure that we are able to maintain a field that allows our uniqueness to come forward. Okay, so let's see what we have. Flirt. Extend your light-hearted energy to others. It's so funny because when I read this, and there's some words that, my English, I couldn't really pronounce properly. I'm sorry. This is not my first language if you don't know this. But when I laughed because of how I pronounced it, I saw how I had this vision of a burst of sparkle. Like gold sparkle that came out of my aura. And I was like, while I was still reading this, I'm like, oh my God, joy and laughter is going to be super important. And this is why also maybe I try to enhance the fun part, because you're going to want to try to find the lightheartedness in this. Yes, you're going to probably face some type of ego transformation and ego death, okay, to a certain level. Look at this. But there's so much light energy behind it. You're going to feel so much better that, let's try to make it a quest, something that we can, really be proud of, but also just delighted to do for ourselves, because there's freedom behind it. Soulmate. Yes, this is your soulmate. So it's probably, I'm feeling here with this energy. Let's move forward. But I felt like, when I had this whole speech for you about laughter, I felt like with soulmate, it's like, it's part of you. Some of you, maybe you have to watch how maybe the spiritual journey could have like weighed on you, or certain aspect of the journey could have weighed on you, and retrieve back that power of laughter. Okay. Oh yeah, you had a lot of cards here. Heart-to-heart conversations. Love this. With that energy of Mercury going into Aries, it's so close to the new moon. I had to go through the Mercury first, but I saw the influence because when I looked at the new moon, I saw Mercury was already in Aries. Why I'm saying this is that we have a stellium in the 3rd house. I'm saying this to you, I don't know why in particular, but there's a lot, because the 3rd house is Gemini, okay? There's a lot of air energy. So you're going to feel this transit and the shadows of it strongly, but in order to transform and make sure that you can keep and harness the power of your lightheartedness, your quirkiness, your everything that you are. I love Gemini energy. I have my draconic sun is Gemini. If you do not know, your draconic chart is connected to the moon, and it gives you access to your emotional body. Okay, that's something that I offer. If some of you are curious, in the birth charts, you can ask for the draconic reading. All right, look at this. I told you, I could see it. I could see the laughter. I could see the power of how you're being more attuned to your true self, freeing you from all those, here it's barriers. But remember, I told you about Aries. And so some of you, what I feel is that maybe you've been playing small. Maybe you've been limiting your field, and the transformation is to expand your field, not to work more on the protection of boundaries, but more on making sure that you don't let others and maybe their perception of reality, that's doom and gloom, affect how you can expand that energy. Forgiving and learning. Okay, there might be some past relationships that were part of this energy balance and rebalancing and karmic, I'm hearing retribution. There's certain things that you had to clear. And playfulness, oh my God. We see here there's a lot of heart attunement, okay, for you to transform. If you're not in joy through this period of time, know that you are being constricted, and you can call on Mother Kali to support you. All right, I'll give you some some ways to work with energies for this. Now let's look at the dragon energy. Dragon energy is a version of us that is ascending, from the reptilian brain, and having limited mindset and just being in survival mode. This is an ascended master energy that is also connected to imagination, to creation. It's such a powerful energy, and it runs through your nervous system and your spine. Let's see what we have here. The temptress. Okay. This is interesting. And the storyteller. 9 and 8. This is interesting because I'm feeling here with this energy, watch the story you tell. Okay, especially with a lot of the air inclination. Air signs are very much about knowledge. Okay, they're very much about communication. They're very much about relationships and networking. So it's saying like the networking is also how the neurons in your brain connect. So it's inviting you to watch the temptation to repeat telling yourself the old story, especially in terms of maybe past relationship. You have to shift, okay, how it affected you. Yeah, maybe you lost your spark or whatever, but that contrast is going to give you access to so much greater light because of the contrast. Because that's the way you could expand. It's through the contrast. It's almost like growing pains, like with our bones. But it doesn't have to be a process that is continuously painful, just so you know. As you start inviting spiritual devotion and commitment in your life, and that doesn't mean like discipline, like, you know, just military. It's more like, hey, how can I feel better, greater today? And sometimes it's meditation, but sometimes it's being in nature, and that's a form of meditation. Sometimes it's being in a yoga class, or, you know, just spending time doing a craft, a hobby, just being creative. Okay, so I feel that there's a lot of space that wants to be created. So we have to release what has been constricting you. So in terms of frequency, we'll see if this one, well, I'm going to keep it on the side. I don't know why I feel like I want to keep it on the side and give you something else here. Maybe because there's a lot of energy. Yeah. Ooh, interesting. Removing psychic debris from narcissism. This is my super empath playlist. Okay. So with the awareness of imbalances, which has been coming up for the collective reading and also for the earth placement, my dear Mercury in air, what I would suggest is that you make sure that you watch the breathwork tutorial that is attached to awareness of energy imbalances. Because when you're doing this work through the breath, you're going to be able to see if you have blockages in your inhale or in your exhale, or how does it feel inside your own vessel, because that's your own soulmate energy. That's your own divine union, feminine, masculine, connected to the divine through the breath. Okay. And I would suggest tuning into this, especially with headphones, because I use binaural beats to create a specific field that enhances your aura and your awareness. So through the breath, you can have greater downloads or greater, you know, physical expression that comes through. Now, you can call on Kali while you're doing this, or you can just, from this video, shift into the Mercury frequency and invite Kali if there is anything to remove. Now, with this one that I wanted to pull for you, it seems that maybe some of you have to revise or review the Super Empath playlist, but in particular, narcissism, okay? And the way that I would do this, I would call on Kali, Krim, when I'm listening to this. I've been doing a lot of reviewing of my personal playlist with Kali, and seeing how she's been helping me, especially with this type of breath work, almost like doing somatic healing on myself and finding how certain energies from the influence of narcissistic relationship dynamics were not playing in my mind anymore. We're not playing so much in my emotions, but we're still locked some places in my body, in my organs, which still influence my feminine and masculine energy. So that means still restricts my field of creation. So that's something I wanted to give you. I trust this is supporting you. I'm sending you many blessings, much love and light. And if you do need guidance, I do offer a calorie reading, and I do offer also dragon reading. Namaste. Have your natal Mercury in a water placement. Those are your messages for the period of time where Mercury is going to be in Aries before it starts its retrograde. So March 10th all the way to April 1st, 2024. This is going to be a shadow period. Okay. So let's see what we have for my natal Mercury in a water placement. All right. So we have intuition. Through my subconscious, I trust my inner wisdom and intuition. Love this. Love, love, love this. I feel a lot of goddess energy here for you, my Mercury in water placement. I don't know why, but I'm going to say it. There was a particular glow when I looked at the card for the stars. And I saw the crystal selenite. Oh, I have it here. Beautiful block of selenite. I love to do this, to put my hands on it, charge my hands, clear my field, clear also the balance between receiving and giving. Okay, I feel I'm going to give this for you. We're going to keep it here. Intuition. Nice. Then we have Kali message. She is the tantric queen of outcast, unveiling the hidden inner power to thrive outside conventional society. If you've been denied love and respect, she brings healing and empowerment. If you've suffered rejection, abandonment, or been labeled as unworthy in any way, she brings dignity and repair. She clears the way for a creative, joyful, and vibrant life path. Love this. Okay, I have to mention it because I felt it. If you have in your chart a natal Pluto retrograde, there's a lot of unfinished karma and business, teaching when Pluto is in retrograde with anything that has to do with being outcasted. Okay, I wanted you to have this awareness. There's something with the speech here and something that is destined. I feel that some of you this watching this, there's something that is really destined for you to manifest, and it is very much connected to the power of your thoughts, because the thoughts becomes words. Okay. All right, let's see. You deserve love. Oh, wow. We are keeping this message loud and clear. Okay. Romantic feelings. Your feelings are real and worthy exploring. Some of you, I feel that you're trying to restrict your flow. Restrict, because maybe standing out with the outcast energy, it makes you feel like I'm going to be rejected. People are not going to like me if I shine too much or shine differently or speak up about maybe being an empath, an intuitive psychic or medium, or anything that is a little bit holistic and, outside the box of the basic matrix program of limitation. There's many matrices, but you're evolving in the highest expression of your own matrix, embodying that uniqueness that we want, that is your extension of source energy in a vessel. Give your relationship a chance. Beautiful. I love this because a lot of the energy work so far for the collective, I do recommend for you, my dear water placement for Mercury, to watch the fire reading, because this is the collective energy of of Mercury in Aries. Okay, Mars is definitely Aries energy. Some of you, maybe there's a Mars retrograde. Okay, I want to mention this. Some of you, if you're YouTube members, go and check out those planet frequencies. It's called Awakening the Stars Within. I have the sun and the moon available for everyone. But if you want to deep dive into your cosmic energy flow, like your prana, you being connected to your stars and what it is that you have wanted to manifest, I have those frequencies. They're very powerful. They're very much linked to dragon knowledge. Okay, what is dragon energy? This is the part of you that is ascended from the survival mode to the thriving mode. We're growing and stepping out of the reptilian brain. We have access to higher truth, higher wisdom, but it comes with humility. It comes with, knowing how to transcend our own ego, how to be the observer. I don't know why I'm saying all this again, but okay. All right, let's see what the dragons want to share. The fairy taleist. See, there's something about how you are this, and with the I don't know if it's blood or if it's a certain taint or henna, with the symbol here in the hand that's very powerful. There's something here. Your fairy tale is meant to be manifested. But again, the energy that you're holding inside, and that could be some of you with that Mars. Mars is our master teacher of energy in motion that leads us to action, the drive. Now, I would say here, even though we're talking about Mercury, there is an invitation, if you have a Mercury in water, to watch your Mars placement. And if you have access to this, maybe there's going to be a review. Go and check out the last reading for Mars, if I'm not mistaken, right now in Aquarius. There might be some things that you could have missed or that you could review. Number 34 is very much about devotion, okay? And here with being just under the you deserve love, there's a higher level of love that through this period of time you need to bring on. Okay, it's almost like I'm challenging you a little bit here with bringing more care to yourself. Okay, and what I mean by care is caring about how you feel on a daily basis, because it matters, and it's going to allow you to manifest greater dynamics in your relationship, which ultimately is probably part of what you want to manifest as well. We have here the wild child. You definitely have some uniqueness to yourself, some superpowers. Let's be honest. I can feel it. Maybe some of you, it is Reiki, connected to crystal, connected to sound healing. But you might have experienced being outcasted, whether or not you have those retrogrades, could be part of your path. Now, what I'm seeing here is that the breath work that we got to invite for everyone. I'm going to give you the one that I gave for everyone, and then we'll shuffle for more, because I feel this, yeah, I'm going to give it to you. Okay. All right. Those are the shadows underneath. Let me, before I show you, let me try to work with you through this energy work. You would benefit with working with Kali. Okay, Kali has a bija mantra, a seed mantra, which is Krem, K-R-E-E-M. I love bringing her when I need clarity in the confusion. I need, I can sense the heaviness of things. So there's destruction that needs to happen. There's, destructuring is chaos. But bringing the goddess energy is just so supportive, because it's not like a punishment. It's actually a support. It's a help of moving and removing obstacles. I wouldn't say enemies, but I had to say it because maybe some of you, that's still part of what you're attracting. People that are showing you past, almost like past residue from karma, where you did not, or when you shone your light, or you got punished. I do feel the witch's wound here. It could be some of you. But being unique, or being a rebel, or being outside of the box, thinking or behaving, especially some of you even with your craft, could have been punished. And there's here a message that says, like, this was always meant for you to experience this alignment with your true nature, your wild expression, and still making it the fairy tale that you want, okay? So I would suggest doing what I recommended for everyone, because it started pulling the first two elements, and then I felt that it was a great awareness, because in this video, I put two different types of binaural beats. It helps you calibrate the brain. And here with the give yourself a relationship a chance, there's like the right brain and the left brain, and they're trying to find a middle ground. Okay, so when through the breath work, you'll be able to have awareness of maybe some of the things that needs to be removed. You can invite Kali when you're alternating your breathing techniques with bringing Kali into it. Now, if you have access to the YouTube music membership, then I would go to Mercury and I would invite that energy. And I would see, you could continue the breath work here with Mercury and invite Kali. Now, you seem to have I felt more retrograde or unfinished business here. So maybe you want to look at your natal Chiron placement and go and check out the frequency for this, because there could be still a wound of love, okay, through the Chiron wound. Maybe some of you even have a Chiron retrograde. Welcome to the club. Okay. And we have here activate psychic boundaries, which is part of the super empath playlist. It seems that maybe some of you, that could be also part of what's limiting you. Because remember here, Mercury is the master teacher of knowledge, okay? The awareness of what you, between what you know and what you don't know, and how to make it whole, okay? How to bring knowledge into wisdom and concrete application. So when you're working with this energy, you really are trying to understand the root of what could have limited you in expressing the wild parts of yourself, and maybe changing some of the stories or dreams, goals that you had. So you're going to be here with Mercury teaching you about knowledge. With Aries, it's teaching you how to create that field. Okay, so how to maintain and invite that field, especially almost like with the archetype, it's grid worker and gatekeeper. So it's almost like showing you where to kind of go next, but also make sure that you keep that space for yourself, and only a high level of love, especially for yourself and for everything that you have worked for, represent, and grown into, your feelings, that helps and supports those boundaries. All right, that's what I have for you, my dear Mercury in water placement. If you need support, I do offer calorie readings and I do offer dragon readings. Thank you so very much. Namaste.